Yeah, I'm not going to like explain to my dad what Grindr is. Because he already knows.
When I met, how does he know? How does he know, Michael? Tell us.
How does he know?
How does he know?
Let's roll the credits. Welcome to Brief Recess. I'm Michael Foote.
I'm Mélissa Malebranche.
This week we're going to be talking about my latest faux mouvement, all the reasons why you should never go to Times Square, the one time I saw a guy get stabbed, and stolen art with my good friend Kira from the Art Revival.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
I'm good. Yeah.
How was your day?
I can't move like too much to the, like my neck.
Why
my throat,
not?
my neck.
You know what you did?
No. You did it. I was not at the club. No.
You did the other thing. You had a faux mouvement.
Well, now I'm worried. Oh, a faux mouvement.
You had a faux mouvement.
Yes, I did. I had a faux mouvement.
You did.
Please tell her I had a faux mouvement.
Yeah.
Should throw Magali's photo up there with the definition of faux mouvement, which is a bad movement in Haitian Creole.
My mother would love that shit. Because, my mom she's on social media.
She's out in these streets.
Trolling me.
My faux mouvement, I throw up my neck. But I was trying to get this guy's number for my friend. I was at a sushi restaurant.
Well, at least you weren't at Taco Bell.
No, not again.
Not again.
And I did like a little like, oh, hey. And I did the bend and snap.
What were you doing?
I tried to do the bend and snap and I with the neck, threw my neck out.
Were you whipping your hair back and forth?
I got his number though and I gave it to my friend.
And are they going to call him?
I think so.
Okay.
I hope it works out.
Look at you being a wingman.
I'm a really good wingman.
Are you?
Yeah, because I don't have any shame. So like I have no problem walking up to a person and just being like, bloop, knock over their drink and be like, I'm so sorry, let me buy another drink. What was your name again? I'm actually clinically insane. I'm wanted in all 50 states.
Is that how you got your husband? Did you knock over his drink?
No, we met online.
Oh.
But I mean, I've done all sorts of unbelievable things in bars to talk to people.
I met my husband online too.
Yeah, it's the way of the world now.
I guess, but I lied.
Oh, we all lie on the internet.
No,
I'm not even a lawyer.
No. I mean, when my mom asked, when my people asked me how I met him, I said that I met him in a restaurant and they didn't find out that we met online until right before we got married.
Because it was like, you knew you were going to get shit from your family if you...
Yeah. It was it just felt, at the time, it was
some of them
super
it's not
sus.
worth it, where it's like, it's easier to lie about this.
Yeah. It was,
but
then he went and opened his trap and told the whole world.
I have to go to a gala this week. It's like an immigration gala for, I honestly have no idea. I didn't read it.
What are you wearing?
Oh, I have a whole like black tie. I have one look for black tie events and I just keep wearing it. I'm like, Tiffany Haddish did the same thing. She bought one nice dress when she first.
I don't love her, but go ahead. Sorry.
I'm like kind of indifferent. I mean, I really liked the sort of like the beginning of like her being everywhere.
Yeah. And then she started speaking.
What'd she say? Well, what did she say?
Stuff that I didn't like. Let's move on.
Okay, we'll move on. There's beef. Hope you're not vegan.
No, there's no beef. I don't know her.
Okay.
To have beef.
But I asked for 4+1s to the gala. I guess that's +4. I just like, my friends are visiting and I was like, well, if I'm going to go to this, and they were like, we want you there. We want you to take photos. We want you to post about it. I was like, that's fine, but I'm bringing my friends. That is
let me tell you, out of your +4s, I didn't get an invitation.
I see you all the time. These people are visiting.
I don't care. You don't think I want to get dressed up and go someplace? You don't think that there is some estate find in my closet?
This is exactly what Magali would say. This is exactly what...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you invited... I don't want to go, and I wasn't invited.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't go if you did invite me, but how dare you not invite me?
I don't want to go anywhere. Ever.
Wow. And you know that.
And
however, if you don't invite me, it's over between us.
Yes, it's over. It's over.
What happened at the estate sale?
Nothing happened at the estate sale. However, I did think about you because you wear suits all the time.
I do.
And when you buy things at estate sales, I hope people know this, right? You all are buying things at estate sales and thrift stores and you're washing them, right? Or you're sending them to the dry cleaner.
If I buy anything, I have a friend who works in like products.
Yeah.
And she said she went to the factories where the products are made.
I'm sure it's disgusting.
And she was like, don't ever, anything you buy ever, wash it and wipe it down if you can't wash it.
Yes.
So even if you get like a shirt from the store.
Yes.
and you're like, oh, I gotta wear this.
Especially like towels and sheets and things. Those things end up on the floor. Absolutely. Even if it's coming out of the package. So I took a bunch of stuff to the dry cleaners. Dry cleaning, I need to take a mortgage out. Take out a loan.
Oh my God. There is like, my dry cleaner has a full country home paid for by me. I think on the title. Like, it is actually crazy how much money I spent on dry cleaning.
It was, I forget the stuff that I brought, but it ended up being like $260.
Dry cleaners run this town.
They
New York
really
City
do.
is owned and operated
100%.
by dry cleaners, bodegas, and the food delivery guys. Like, literally without them, the whole city crumbles.
Collapse.
Most apartments don't have washers and dryers. Like, it is.
You mean in unit?
In unit.
Right.
And the washers and dryers, the shared ones in the building. No.
You people are nasty out there.
It's going to be the next strain of COVID comes from the washers in my building. It is disgusting.
Dog biscuits.
It is. It's like Freddy Krueger's lair. Yeah. It's disgusting down there. This is Sidebar. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in court this week, what's happening in the news, what's happening in immigration and criminal court. And
what's going on?
What is going on in the world?
A lot.
Yeah. And I've always promised to bring like a fun little update from court. This one's honestly, well, they're never actually fun. It's usually horrifying.
I know, but they're maybe not, but they're always kind of interesting.
Yeah,
is this but is this a sad one?
Different show that I said no to. Asked me for like legal advice on how to sue
the network that they were trying to get you to come on
during the casting process. The casting director, and I'm going to be so vague when I say this, was basically like, hey, so I've got like an issue with the contract with like my manager. And I was like, oh my God, are you seriously asking? You're trying to get me on the show and you've got legal issues that were...
Do you want to know what this reminds me of? Do you want to know what this reminds me of?
What?
Remember that time you were working someplace and you hated it and you tried to get me to come on and work with you?
We're not talking about this. No. I worked at a small nonprofit
and he was unhappy.
And I was there for like 6 months. And I
he
tried
missed
to
me.
And I tried to recruit Mélissa with a huge salary, benefits.
And then I went and I talked to the person.
And she hated it.
I hated the person. And then I almost nearly hated him.
It was a tiny nonprofit. Oh my God, it was crazy.
It was awful.
And I didn't realize yet that I wanted out so bad. And I was like, what's going on is I didn't like or know anyone. And
No. You knew right away. You did. And then you tried to get me to go be with you. So
misery loves company. What do you expect from me?
That's fucked up. I wouldn't do that to you. So tell me more about this person.
Oh, it was okay. We moved on and I withdrew from that casting.
No. But does the person still need your help?
Yeah.
Are you going to help them?
I might. I'm thinking.
Are you going to help them because...
So basically, I do this a lot when it comes to like people asking for legal advice. I kind of kick it back and I'm like, okay, do these 3 things, send it to me. And then I'll start working on it just to do like a proof. Sometimes it's really easy to just like DM me and be like, hey, blah, 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 blah. I need help. So I usually like refer back with like a couple questions just to like proof of concept. This person is actually like gonna do the work and follow up and answer my questions because that's like, dialogue between you and your attorney is so important. So I kind of did that. I pushed back and was like, this is what we kind of need from you.
But I do think it's wild that somebody who tried to get you to come over to their camp now wants to sue the camp.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh,
like,
definitely.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Why would you do something like that?
It was sort of like, wow, maybe you're the problem.
Probably. Did you get the sense that the person is okay or not okay? Like, what was your feeling about the person? Yeah.
I can't say.
Okay. I think we know what that means, friends.
I went to Dave & Buster's I had an hour between court and I was like in Midtown. And I went to Dave & Buster's because I was like, I'm bored. I want to play some video games.
Did you do that?
Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
When was the last time you were in Dave & Buster's?
The last time I was in Dave & Buster's was a year ago.
Oh, well, okay.
And I saw a man get stabbed. And he died.
I was going to laugh. I started to laugh and then you said he died.
Okay, well, you can laugh at this part. I found out through my chiropractor. I didn't realize he died. And it's a shared chiropractor that Mélissa and I have both gone to. And we can't get into that.
Nope.
But she messaged me and was like, I saw you posted from Dave & Buster's. Did you see that man died? A guy got stabbed there and died, and I was like,
how
really?
did the chiropractor know? They just found out about it in the news?
I guess they found out on like the Post. Like it was like on TMZ or something.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, I was there. I saw that man go down like a sack of shit. I thought it was like a fight. And I was like, playing the basketball game. I was there. I lived it.
Did you survive?
That's going to be the YouTube clip is I lived it. The Times Square stabbing at Dave & Buster's.
First mistake was being in Times Square in the first place.
I know. And like it really had no business being there. No. But it is the nearest Dave & Buster's to my lifestyle.
Okay.
Perfect day for me. Dave & Buster's, Taco Bell.
And a stabbing.
And a little stabbing.
There's
actually a difference between a stabbing and a slashing, and we can get into it.
Yeah, that sounds...
But like statutory, there's like, you have to be clear as a reporter and as a lawyer and a prosecutor that this was a slashing, not a stabbing.
That makes sense.
I saw this. It was a stabbing.
Not a slashing.
He got stabbed.
What have I said?
Nothing fucking good
what do I
in
say?
Times Square.
That's what I say every time.
She says,
nothing. I said that. Decent people have no business in Times Square.
Decent people.
Decent folk.
We're not.
Nope.
No, it is true. Nothing good happens.
Nothing good happens. I mean, and listen, for people who are coming to New York, to our fair city, sure. Yeah. But real New Yorkers do not go to Times Square. It's so busy. It's congested. The food is overpriced and not that good.
Yeah. If you want to buy a dime bag from the people in the like costumes that take photos with tourists.
You don't even need to buy a dime bag from anybody anymore. Go to a dispensary. What are you going to a dime bag for? Isn't it all like marijuana dust?
That's how like not cool I am.
Dime bags. This is 1997. You're going to get a dime bag.
I'm so excited. We're going to be joined by my close friend, Kira, who is an art content creator and the incredible face and voice behind the Art Revival. Hi, welcome, Kira. Yay. Welcome, Kira. Yay.
We're excited that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited. I thought it'd be great to include Kira on this episode because we're going to be talking a lot about art law, all the weird things that happen in museums and galleries. As y'all know, I do have some like deep lore before I was a criminal lawyer and an immigration lawyer that I worked at art galleries as an art lawyer. And Kira, I think we've connected on this a little bit.
We haven't.
Well, buckle up because I've seen some crazy shit.
Strap in.
And the NDAs have expired.
Really?
No, I wasn't under NDA, but I do have some cool stories, some crazy stories of things that happened. Yeah. But I thought it'd be great to include you in this episode so we could talk a little bit about your work. I think we should play a quick clip of one of Kira's videos just so you get a sense of what she does on the internet because it's so fun.
This painting comes with onions. Wow. Tomina Matsukawa is a master of light. And look at these leaves. What is that? Parsley?
Wait, so how did you get into like the art world? Like you make these cool videos, you go to what seems like a gallery, like multiple a day. I'm waiting for you to like run out of art shows to go to. Like I follow your videos and I watch them and I'm like, I didn't realize that there was this much fucking art in the world.
Yeah.
So much. It's amazing.
Yeah, especially in New York, there's so much. Like I can't see it all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there are so many galleries. It's insane. And then not even galleries. There's like museums and public art and just everything happening.
I had like a Eat, Pray, Love moment a couple of years ago where I was like, every week I'm going to take 30 minutes and go to a gallery because I live near Chelsea. Like it's easy for me to just walk into a gallery and just like see what's up. And I was like looking for inspiration. I was sort of at like a moment in my life. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been in one of those moments, Mélissa?
I'm always in that moment. I'm always in a moment.
She lives in that moment. And it was fun, though, to like force myself to go to a gallery because there are so many and it changes over so quickly, right? Is there anything that's sort of like going on in the art world right now that's like kind of exciting that you really want to talk about or something that just like really piqued your interest?
So you mentioned Chelsea.
Yes,
and have you seen The Giant Pigeon?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I was just looking at the giant pigeon.
That's great.
I was
literally just looking at the giant pigeon.
Yeah. So that's not like a new thing, but it is leaving, I think, next year. It's amazing.
So if you're visiting New York, if you're watching this on YouTube, throw up a photo of the giant pigeon, CJ. Yeah. Sometimes I don't want to see a little pigeon, but I did see the big pigeon.
It's amazing.
It's so cool.
It's hand painted and it's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's like a legit thing.
Wow.
And it's gorgeous and it's so cute and it's just magical.
That's incredible.
I feel like I want to take this moment to tell people, instead of going to Times Square, go look at the giant pigeon. Honestly.
Talking about Kira, you weren't here. We were just talking about Times Square.
But we were talking about Times Square.
How nothing good happens in Times Square.
And how much I personay, as a native New Yorker, hate Times Square.
And
but
I bet
if
there's no art there either.
There actually is art in Times Square. And there's actually a Times Square art situation. And
it's not at the Dave & Buster's, is it?
No, but they light up all of the billboards in Times Square. They work with an artist. And for a minute during midnight, they'll project crazy stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's actually cool.
And then they had an amazing artist, Thomas J. Price, who creates these monumental people. And they had his sculpture of this black woman in Times Square. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I saw your review of it.
That's right. That's right.
That was really
It was horrible being there. Well, in Times Square, because there's so many people recording it. It was oh my God, I'm going to die. But it was great.
Okay.
I went to Times Square there's the Times Square Alliance had a party on New Year's and I got invited. And it was actually really cool because they cordoned off part of the street just for people at this party. So it was this empty part of Times Square in the middle of New Year's Eve, which was actually really fun. So that was fun to be there for that.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, public art is so interesting because of the ways in which people relate to it and the way they treat it. Do you remember the video that connected Ireland and the US?
Yes.
And people started doing obscene things in front of them. They had to take it to cover it up.
I think, people can't help themselves, right?
No.
I feel
people can't help but expose themselves in the middle of the Flatiron District.
I think that's really true. How did you decide that art was going to be your thing? At what point in your life did you realize that this is really important to me?
As a baby, no. Out of
the womb.
Yeah.
Sorry, just real quick.
So my mom is an artist.
Okay.
And so I grew up around art, going to museums, going to exhibitions. And it was always a very fun thing. Mm-hmm. So I just always loved art.
Are you an artist?
No. I'm not. I do little silly crafts here. And I don't want to say little silly. I just...
No. Crafting, I take my crafting very seriously.
Oh my God, yes. I'm just saying I'm not looking at my work and I'm oh my God, that's amazing. But my mom is, and it's all Christmas presents. But
you're still making paintings for your mom to put on the fridge.
No, she's literally you need to give me a handmade gift.
Oh, I love that.
Well,
that's really cute.
It's not because she puts so much pressure on me. You know what I mean? And I'm just making something for my mom. You know,
right.
But I'm oh my God, it has to be perfect. And to answer your question,
and to make art for another artist.
Okay.
That is actually, I'm not cooking for a chef. No. You don't want what I can.
You know what though? I've heard chefs say that that's a pain point for them, that nobody wants to cook for them and they just want to be asked over to someone's house.
You know what? You chose this life if you're a chef and you need to get the fuck over it. I'm sorry.
My God,
I am not suffering. No one forced you to learn how to slice like that perfectly.
Anyway, back to your mom.
Yeah, so she's an artist.
What kind of art does your mom do?
She's mixed media.
She's a chef.
Mixed media and watercolor.
Okay.
But I think that's why I'm not an artist, because at the age of 6, I'm drawing nothing and she's drawing a body. And I'm I can't do that. And I'm a perfectionist. So I'm I suck, even though she's whatever, 30 something. So yeah, I'm not an artist. Okay. But I love art. Sure. I love art.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yes. Clearly, if you're, spending your days traipsing around the city to look at it and also to share it with other people.
Yeah,
because
I go to
I
Times
think,
Square.
Wow.
To see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on TikTok, you covered a story of Kirsha Kushel, who was a women's only art lounge and was sued for discrimination. I wanted to bring you on to talk about this today because dealing with civil rights laws and Title IX and how these laws are enforced and how discrimination cases sort of make it to a courtroom and how they're sort of enforced around the country was just very interesting to me. So when I heard about this, I actually heard about it from your video. I thought it would just be cool to sort of get into it. So could you tell us a little bit about that situation? What actually happened that precipitated a discrimination lawsuit against an artist who is having a women's only sort of lounge?
And can you sort of share with us also, what kind of art does Kirsha do? What's her medium?
Yeah.
Well, so she is not necessarily, she's more of a performance art. She's just an artsy person.
Gotcha.
But before the art lounge, she actually faked a Picasso. So let me tell you about the art lounge first. Okay.
Yeah.
So at the Mona, which is a museum in Tasmania, her husband actually owns the museum. She was like, I want to make a women's only art lounge. And it was this fabulous velvet green area. And she had great art there, world-renowned art. And only women or people identifying as women could come in and see the art. So this man came in, bought a ticket to the museum, and was like, I want to go to the women's only lounge. And they were like, no. He sued for discrimination. He won. And then she appealed. And the whole thing was kind of crazy because she had all these women, like 30 or 20 women, 20 or 30 women in suits. She created this women's only art lounge. A man named Jason Lau sued her for discrimination. And the court ended up ruling in Lau's favor. And they walk into court and they're like dancing. And it's like, it's a whole thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
But then she gets up on stage, gets up on the
law thing. Lectern. Like, I don't know in Tasmania what the courtrooms sort of look like. I know they wear wigs.
And she basically says that the purpose of the art lounge was to discriminate against men because women have been discriminated for centuries.
Okay, so like if you are watching this and you are doing that, please don't admit to discrimination in open court in defiance of your attorney.
Okay.
That would be so treacherous for if I were your lawyer representing you and you. No.
Melissa's not objecting. Melissa's wondering, though. I wonder, since she is a performance artist, could that be considered performance art, right?
Sure, yeah.
There was something that she it was like Law 57 or 56, but it said that certain groups who have been discriminated, like people of color or women, can discriminate if it leads to more equality. It's something like
interesting.
That.
So there are some like similar laws in the US where like you can technically like there was a big question on the bar exam when I took it that like you can technically break the law and advise your client to break the law in very specific situations if it is to prove that a law is like specifically unjust. It's like a very narrow sort of definition. Like you can't do it to prove that like robbing is okay. Like you can't tell them like go for it.
I can't pick your pocket.
Yeah, like you can't tell them go for it. It's like a very specific sort of, I guess technically crimes that you can break the law and commit the crime in order to then go on and have standing in front of certain courts to then try your case.
So she didn't win initially. She lost. Right. The guy won.
Yes.
Right. And what happened then? Was that at that point, did they sort of close the exhibition at the library, but at the museum, or did they allow men to attend?
So when he won, the judge was like, open the lounge to anybody. And she was like, no, thank you. So they closed it down completely.
Gotcha.
And then she won her appeal, and then she was allowed to open it up again. And then she opened it up, and then she got on stage. Well, she had a little interview, and she was like, I want to thank the man. His name was Jason Lau. I want to thank Jason Lau so much for suing me because you basically show that like women are better than men. The men can keep appealing, and this is what Kersha has to say to them.
We'll see how the men take it. The men are a little hysterical. I'm a bit concerned. They're troubled by the power of women.
And then she's like, any man that wants to work in the lounge can apply to be a butler.
Oh my God, that is so
to serve women.
I love that.
I love that actually.
Yeah. But about the Picasso.
Oh yeah, there was this. She faked a Picasso.
Yes, in the lounge there was like actual art. Like I forgot who the artists were, but cool art, you know. But she was in the lounge and she was like, "I need a Picasso," and she even is quoted by saying that a lot of her friends have Picassos. So she's like, "I could get a Picasso, but I wanted a green Picasso because everything's in the lounge.
The lounge was green.
So she painted her own green Picasso,
and that's cool.
Pretended like it was real, and then it came out that it was fake, and then she was like, "Guys, I've been waiting for you."
She sounds so cool.
She
sounds so fun.
Yeah.
So the whole point of her painting the Picasso was
to be found out.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then does anything happen? I mean, I'm assuming that something could only happen if you tried to sell it as a real Picasso. Oh, right?
I don't think, she probably wasn't prosecuted.
Yeah,
she didn't forge it.
Right.
No.
She was never...
She made it up. Okay. She basically made up a whole
If she was like charging admission to go in and see the Picasso,
but
claiming it was...
Wasn't she?
No, it's probably entry to enter the lounge.
Was a part. Yeah, right. No one was paying to enter the women's lounge.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah. Right. And then actually the Picasso Foundation responded and they were like, it's all right. Okay, this is the current update with Kirsha Kachel, the woman who thanked Picasso. The Picasso Foundation have given their 2 cents about the forged Picasso. So they say, well, we can only regret the situation and the current overexposure. We believe that this matter is now closed.
Oh.
So everything's all right. Yeah.
So the only person that's ever been upset with her is that one man.
Yeah, the one man.
Yes.
Typical.
Yeah.
I love that. I love just like a man being like, there's one place I'm not allowed. I'm going to freak out and I'm going to sue over it.
Yeah.
Like that is so
this
stupid.
An actual quote? The men are acting a little hysterical. They may appeal, but they're not appealing to me. I love that. That is great. That's great.
All right, let's get into, I thought it would be nice to have Kira join us because we're going to be talking a lot about stolen art. So Warhols were stolen. This lawsuit is from 2025. This man, Thomas Trotta, was arrested and charged and sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for his role in an art theft ring. So this case was actually a federal case because it involved like multiple states. So
Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, North Dakota.
Actually, I bet there's probably like one incredible art museum in North Dakota.
Probably the one.
The
one.
Sorry.
But we don't know. People of North Dakota.
People of North Dakota, please comment.
Let us
correct
know.
us.
Correct us.
I know that we got it wrong. I've never been. I'm sure it's beautiful.
It's probably really great.
I'm sure it's really great.
No, I'm sure it's gorgeous. Actually, very naturey.
And which ones were where those 4 heads are? Those guys. It's like they've got the 4 dudes. They're like all the presidents, the dead ones.
Oh, the Rushmore?
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore.
That's in North Dakota, I think.
I don't know.
Fact check me. Comment below.
You know,
Fight
Trump
me in the
wants
comments.
to have his.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That Trump wants to have his head chiseled into next to Lincoln.
I'm sorry. Okay, so like I know my angles. Like we have these cameras set up like very specifically for my angles. I would never, if I had those angles, I would never be like, let's memorialize this in the side of a fucking mountain. So I'm sorry.
Okay,
like,
but
I am like pretty snatched. Like I'm not like I'm 6'7". Like I'm not like I'm a 10. Put my face on a mountain and like I'm me. But like the president saying that.
Okay, but he's not looking at himself like the rest of us are looking at him. He's got all kinds of rose-colored glasses
he's not looking at himself at all. He's unconscious half the time. Like, I think there's like a diminished capacity.
No, I actually think that this man is looking at himself and he's just like, yeah, this is...
No, put this on a mountain.
Put this on a mountain.
You
put
know
this
what?
on a mountain. Put this on your wall.
No.
Put this on a stamp. He wants to...
What color's the mountain? Is it like an orange hue or is it?
No, it's not. It's like white.
I was going to say it might actually work.
No. It's like, I think it's like
it's like a
white chiseled,
stony white mountain.
Yes.
Like gray.
It's grayish.
Yeah, like an eggshell.
Yeah.
I wonder if the people of North Dakota are upset about this.
Is it really in North Dakota?
It might be South Dakota.
It's in the Dakota.
One of the Dakotas.
We should go see it.
I would go.
Brief recess on the road. Join us next week.
Yep. Road trip.
But they stole like all these different artworks from different establishments. So one was they snuck in through a tent and stole it from the museum because they were having like a party. And because they stole the paintings in different states, it technically invoked the Commerce Clause of the Constitution. So Commerce Clause is, we're going to do like a little audio there. I want to fly in.
Okay.
Put the Commerce Clause on both my shoulders because I know all about the Commerce Clause because they don't fucking shut up about it in law school. All they talk about is the damn Commerce Clause. So the Commerce Clause is basically the federal government can regulate and has jurisdiction over anything having to do with interstate commerce. So anything that crosses a state line is technically interstate commerce. And it's like this like weird part of the law where technically, like the states, and the federal government are always beefing over like who's going to tell who to do what. And the federal government, over the history of the nation, was like, hey, anytime business crosses the border between states, we take jurisdiction. That's mine, baby. So technically, because they were robbing different states, it was governed by the federal jurisdiction. So they had to go to federal court for these crimes. They were arrested and charged. And Thomas ended up serving 8-year sentence. So he's currently
in jail or prison.
Currently in jail.
What's the difference?
But this is like one of these, I don't know. I thought it was really interesting. There's like this common trend in art theft where it's almost like kind of sexy the way that like people and the news sort of like deal with art theft. It's sort of like one of these like cool crimes that people are, it's not like, oh my God, this like awful thing happened.
Right.
It's like there's sort of like this like
a little bit of like a victimless crime, right? Like
yeah,
it's, right.
Or like it's a crime of like the ultra wealthy
yes.
and like we don't feel too sad about it. There's just like, I thought it was cool from like a cultural perspective of like the way that people are going to be treating this case is people really tune in because you're right. It is like a victimless crime.
It feels that way.
Yeah.
It does feel that way.
Are there other like stolen, looted art situations that you know about that you want to talk a little bit about?
Recently, there was a Nazi looted art situation.
Oh, right. Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah.
He was a man very close to Hitler, got this artwork by Fra Galgaria, that's the artist, and it's called Portrait of a Lady.
Oh, yeah.
And then it like passed hands and it went to his financial advisor and then it went to his daughter. And she's been living in Argentina. And for 10 years, these journalists were trying to get it and they like could not.
Did they know where it was?
They couldn't know. They didn't know.
They couldn't find it.
Right. They didn't know where it was. They just thought that she had it.
And this is like a huge problem. Like Nazi looted art was just sort of like blasted around the world. Like Hitler had like a really systematic, we talked about it in law school. He had like a systematic way in which he was like looting museums, galleries, people's homes, and sort of like appraising and then redistributing the artwork as an asset to people in his
circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the artwork was stolen from this art dealer. So he had thousands of his work stolen.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so over 10 years they were trying to find this artwork. And this journalist, like in like a last ditch effort, he shows up to the house of this woman. He knocks on the door. She doesn't answer because she hasn't answered for 10 years. And then in the yard, there's a for sale sign. And he like gets back to his hotel and he's like, let me look up the real estate listing.
Yeah.
Then above the couch is the painting.
Yeah, we talked about this.
It was just in
that was the one that I told you about. It was the person found it in Zillow. Like they were looking for a house. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it was that.
Yeah.
That situation. But it was on the Zillow ad of the house. The art that had been stolen by the Nazis had been living in this woman's house for years.
Yeah. And so he called in all the proper people. They like raided the house and it was missing. Oh. And in its place was this like tapestry of horses. Oh. And then they put these people on house arrest and they were like, listen, you have this thing. And they're like, my God, we don't.
Imagine being that like tapestry of horses. You're just like the understudy for like the real star. And like, you've got to go on in this moment and everyone's watching you. And you're like, everyone showed up to see the star and you're just like, a crusty old
but it could have been a really cute tapestry. Like we don't know what, like, you know what I mean?
We don't know. Yeah. Thank you for protecting the identity of the, because we don't know. It could be like a fierce, you're right, textile artist. Yeah.
So the people, the woman, her and her husband were, well, you know, all the law stuff, prosecuted or whatever. And now they're in big trouble. Mm-hmm. Oh, the painting. So
where is the painting?
It's been found. When the people got on house arrest and then they were like, and then they tried to like sell it to, they were like, can we sell it? And they were like, no, you're in trouble. So then they just gave it up. Yeah. But now they're like going to be prosecuted for like not forgery, for what?
I have it.
But let me ask you this though. So the way that the painting came into their hands was that it had not belonged, but the father of the woman had stolen it.
Well, this head Nazi official stole it from this art dealer.
Correct.
And then he gave it, or somehow his financial advisor got it.
Right.
Okay.
And then he died and it went to the daughter.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So do we know for sure that the daughter knew the origin of that painting?
No.
But
she went and gave it over and they contacted her for 10 years.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So
probably
we don't know.
You had like the opportunity kind of at that point.
You had the chance to do the right thing and you didn't.
And you hit it.
Like
that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
a little sus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And there is a law in the books in Argentina about how like being in possession of stolen goods is technically a crime. But, we have two things are needed for every crime. Mens rea and actus rea. So you need the mental state to commit the crime, but also a physical act too. So this would be the physical act of concealment. And then the mental state would be the knowledge of this being stolen.
I guess I suppose obviously she hid it, so she probably did sort of know. But I wonder if I go to an estate sale, right? Because that's what I do.
Melissa's obsessed with estate sale.
No. But I buy a piece of art that I like and I hang it in my home.
Right.
Yeah. And I paid $5 for it at a garage sale or something. Yeah. I could very well not know that it was stolen.
Right.
And then if somebody finds it and they say, hey, this is a stolen piece of art. And I say, well, I bought it at a garage sale.
Yeah, it's the opportunity to remedy. So if you're given the opportunity to make it right, there are a couple different lawsuits where I think like the first one was actually a celebrity. And she had a stolen artwork that was looted by the Nazis. And she was sued for it, but there wasn't really the legal case law precedent. She was kind of the first. It was like in the 70s or 60s.
You're looking at me like I was there.
No, I didn't know. I was just like...
You said the 60s and 70s and you gave me a look like, do you remember it from firsthand knowledge, Melissa? Go fuck yourself, Michael.
Anyway, thank you for joining us, Kira. This might be my last recording.
Anyway. Right. So I'm just curious what would happen to somebody like that. She bought it, but we're assuming that she didn't know what she was buying.
Yeah, they wouldn't just show up and arrest her for possession of it, but given an opportunity to sort of remedy the situation before seeking to press charges or prosecuting or arresting this person. I mean, you'd be given the opportunity to remedy, which is actually like kind of unusual for these types of crimes. Like if you rob a store, right? We have to make sure that this person actually has the requisite mens rea, the mental state, and that they actually knew what they were doing when they committed the crime or were in possession of the stolen goods.
Right.
So it sort of like invokes like property law and also like criminal law. So it's kind of a cool one. But thank you for joining us, Kira. Thank you for coming and being a part of Under Oath. Thank you for telling us more about your work. Plug your socials. Where do you want everyone to follow?
It's called The Art Revival, and you can follow on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Oh, and Facebook.
Give her a follow because she really does pump out all these videos. It's really incredible, especially if you're like not going to art exhibitions that often, but you do love art. It's a great way to sort of like get to see what's happening in the art world while also not leaving your home.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. I learned so much. Oh my God, I feel like I'm like a lawyer now.
Okay, but please don't practice law without a license. Okay. That was so I love talking about just sort of like the provenance in art getting sort of like spread around the world and like the stories that now, the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren of sort of having to repatriate art back to the original owners. It's really interesting.
Super interesting. I loved having her on.
Thank you for listening to Brief Recess. I'm Michael Foote.
I'm Melissa Malebranche.
Don't forget to submit a question for next week, and we'll see you in court.